Right now, a lingering effect of last summer's historic flooding, what it means for anyone looking to buy a home in some of the harder hit areas.
And the Madison School District once again is investigating a reported case of a teacher using a racial slur while in class.
Plus, a local man's mission to break the stigma surrounding youth mental health after tragically losing his son.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Months after last August's devastating flooding, its effects linger in damaged homes, including the Mazomanie area.
And the concern about another storm, of course, is always in the back of their minds there. Our Madeline O'Neill is back from the village and can tell us about the impact on property values there. Maddie?
Eric and Charlotte, realtors and village officials I've spoken with tell me that's not exactly the case, but last summer's flooding is changing the way people choose where to call home.
I just love the town.
Here in Mazomanie, Denise Van Horn and her daughter Madison Olsen Duff call this their first actual home.
It's just cozy. It's perfect right where we're at.
Until historic flooding came in August.
Next thing you know, she couldn't even get down the steps because we had water up to our kitchen countertops,
destroying everything on the first floor.
So it was just a big mess.
9 months later, they're doing what they can.
I was not going to give up our home.
Finishing up landscaping after raising their house, all to stay in the place they still choose to call home.
This is a marathon. We're still running it.
Despite devastating flooding, lifelong resident Natalie Beal of the Mazomanie Chamber of Commerce says community members haven't been quick to leave town.
It brought us all together.
And some houses for sale have still been going quick.
There's been some that have gone right away. There's been some that are still sitting there and have been sitting there. And I think that has a lot to do with that information gathering.
She encourages prospective buyers to get as much information about the property as they can and ask questions, something real estate attorney Jean Armendariz-Kerr says is happening more often.
While it hasn't seemed to put off buyers looking in those neighborhoods, which were impacted by the flooding last year, it certainly has changed the questions that savvy buyers are asking.
She says property values don't seem to be significantly affected during this active spring selling season, but buyers are asking whether the flooding was a freak occurrence or will become more common. And sellers may be obligated to disclose any flooding damage.
It's just being educated and making all the right calls.
Knowing enough to make the best choice on where to call home.
We want people here.
Everything we've done and gone through has been life-changing, but well worth it.
Now, one other change in home buying, whereas living near a creek may have been a selling point, realtors say that may no longer be the case in areas that were hit hard by flooding. Black Earth officials say they haven't noticed a slowdown in the housing market either. Beal recommends researching homes before buying them by requesting files for properties at the municipal building.
Foxconn has been awarded $13 million in contracts to 3 firms it describes as Wisconsin-based. But according to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, 2 of those companies are headquartered outside of the state. One is in Illinois, one in Connecticut. The contracts are for foundation work. Foxconn says the companies receiving contracts do not have to be headquartered in the state to qualify as Wisconsin-based. The company has set a goal of using Wisconsin-based businesses for 60% of its contracting. Looking at the forecast now, get ready for a warm but should be comfortable on Friday, right, Gary?
Yeah, temperatures will be in the mid-80s, but the humidity levels will stay low, so it won't feel like that summertime heat, and it's just a taste of it anyway. Let's start out by looking at Doppler track. There were a few showers and thunderstorms over southwestern Wisconsin, but as soon as the sun went down, they just kind of fizzled out. Still a couple of thunderstorms across parts of northern Illinois, but you can see Wisconsin right now, precipitation free. There was a warm day today in parts of southern Wisconsin, 82 the high temperature in Mineral Point before the thunderstorms came through. Boscoville hit 80, as did Lone Rock. La Crosse hit 80. Here in Madison, we topped out at 77. Current temperatures are in the low to mid 60s. Madison right now at 63. By tomorrow morning will be in the mid 50s. Look for a sunny day tomorrow. It'll be very warm. Our high temperature at 85. Thunderstorm chances will hold off until after dark. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
From planning a wedding to a funeral, that is the reality for one 22-year-old woman in Sun Prairie. Alyssa Van Gorder and Ryan Schultz were engaged to be married next January, but those plans were derailed Sunday night when her fiancé was hit by a suspected drunk driver.
I think that person took everything from me and his family.
Ryan Schultz had dinner with his family and was driving back to Sun Prairie on 151 near Trenton when another person driving down the wrong side of the highway slammed into the 24-year-old, killing him instantly. The driver of the other car, Eric Hagenbart of Beaver Dam, has a history of driving while intoxicated. His status is currently unknown after being flown to the hospital. The Madison School District is actively investigating another incident where a teacher is accused of using a racial slur in front of students. This one happened at Spring Harbor Middle School on the west side. In an email sent to parents yesterday afternoon, the principal says the teacher was removed from the classroom as soon as the incident was reported. This is just the latest in several similar reported incidents this year.
New tonight, President Trump is threatening to impose new tariffs on Mexico if that country does not step up its enforcement on illegal immigration. In a White House statement, the president says the first round of tariffs will begin June 10th at 5% on all goods imported from Mexico. That percentage will go up by 5% for each following month until it reaches a permanent level at 25%. U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents say they've apprehended the largest ever group of migrants trying to cross the border. This was yesterday. 1,036 migrants crossed the border, all taken into custody. That group included 934 family members, 63 unaccompanied minors, 39 single adults. Authorities say all of the migrants were from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. The Centers for Disease Control says the measles outbreak is continuing to break records, and the virus may no longer be considered eliminated if it continues to spread. The CDC says 971 cases have been reported so far this year, 91 of them in just the past week and a half, and that tally means in less than 6 months, the outbreak has surpassed the previous high set back in 1994. There are no confirmed cases so far in Wisconsin.
R&B singer R. Kelly is now facing 11 new sex-related charges. The charges include aggravated criminal sexual assault and aggravated criminal sexual abuse against a victim between the ages of 13 and 16. The charges apparently pertain to a single victim. Kelly was already facing multiple charges of sexual abuse involving 4 women, 3 of whom were minors at the time. A group of female recruits is suing the FBI, saying the agency fosters a good old boy network. More than a dozen women say they experienced a hostile work environment, sexual harassment, and gender discrimination. The FBI says it cannot comment on the lawsuit, but that they encourage a diverse and respectful work environment.
Target is recalling nearly 100,000 USB phone charging cords due to a potential shock and fire hazard. The cords in question are the Heyday 3-foot lighting USB charging cable. U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says there have been 14 reports of these cables smoking, sparking, or lighting on fire. Disneyland's highly anticipated Star Wars Galaxy's Edge attraction is now finally open to the public. Last night, George Lucas and Harrison Ford helped kick things off with a special ceremony outside the Millennium Falcon. Analysts estimate Disney spent at least $1 billion to build 2 nearly identical versions of Galaxy's Edge, the first in Anaheim, the second at Walt Disney World in Orlando. That is set to debut in late August. This weekend, the state is encouraging everyone to get outside and enjoy what nature has to offer.
All state parks, state forests, DNR-owned trails, and fishing is free this Saturday and Sunday. State lawmakers are introducing a new bipartisan package of bills aimed at spreading awareness about ticks you could encounter at those parks. In 2017, Wisconsin was the 4th worst state in the nation for the number of cases of Lyme disease. Under the bills, state parks and forests would be required to post signs and offer brochures informing visitors about how to check for ticks and prevent tick bites. Another proposal would require all state parks and forests to sell bug spray with DEET, something only a few currently do. Still ahead tonight, teen and child suicide rates are continuing to rise.
When we come back, we'll introduce you to a local man who tragically lost his son and is now trying to break the stigma surrounding youth mental health. The latest suicide statistics show our children are struggling more than ever. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among kids and teens. High schoolers attempt suicide more than 3,000 times a day.
But until you've lived those numbers, you cannot understand the impact they have. Danica Lewis talked to one dad hoping to push the trend in a different direction in a story you'll only see on News 3 Now.
And it was great because I had dogs. I don't work with anyone, so I let the dogs love on me, and I'm like, this is so great. I don't have to be around people. What are you guys doing? And now I wished that I was around people more, because now you're sitting here with your thoughts.
For anyone else, Jeff Fuller's home is a retreat, nurtured by nature and made even better by the little labs he breeds there.
You are constantly dealing with the questions of why.
There's something missing from the property now.
Could you have done something different?
Someone who can never be replaced.
You try to do the best you can, but ultimately you failed.
Cole Fuller was smart. He was popular. Number 27 loved playing football and was good for any sports statistic you threw at him.
We scouted this. What did we see?
We saw a lot of birds flying in 2s and 3s, local birds that just wanted to chill here and eat.
Cole was a regular on his dad's hunting show and had a natural knack for being on camera.
He would have so much passion for life in general.
But a few years ago, Cole started struggling. There were fits of anger, inconsistent medications, therapy sessions, court-ordered hospital stays.
I guess helpless would be the best way to explain it. You think that as a parent you can fix anything, and then you're hit with this, and you're helpless.
Then in April, Cole was having a particularly tough day at his mom's house. Jeff suggested his stepdad call the sheriff's office for help.
And as he was doing that, Cole took his life.
Cole Fuller was 17 years old. For Cole's brothers, Cole's friends, and for him, Jeff started putting his son's story out there.
We never thought Cole would take his life.
Within days of his death, he posted this video on his social media pages.
Must have been in a place so dark, you couldn't feel the light.
It's since been seen more than 13,000 times.
This can't be the way you meant to draw a crowd.
Less than 2 months since losing Cole, Jeff has already raised nearly $25,000 to bring Hope Squads into area high schools, a program that trains students to look out for one another and point anyone considering suicide to the resources they need.
Cole's friends are there, and he would want us to help him. I guess my therapy and the way I'm healing through this is realizing that we can help other kids so other parents don't deal with what we're having to.
Good boy. Are you a good boy? Yes, that's a good boy.
Someone will always be missing from this place. But Jeff Fuller knows his son's smile, his spirit, will save another father from what he's gone through.
This is hard on our family, but that's why I am forging ahead with this, because someone needs to speak. Someone needs to be the person that says enough is enough.
In Delavan, Danica Lewis.
You're beautiful, so
News 3 Now.
If you're interested in donating to Jeff Fuller's cause to get Hope Squads into schools in Walworth and Rock counties, we have that information on channel3000.com. That's where you can also find resources if you or someone you know is struggling right now.
We've been sharing the stories of women you will see in this year's Susan G. Komen More Than Pink Walk all month long in our series, Why We Walk. That walk now just 9 days away. On race day, Komen honors its top fundraisers, and year after year, a woman named Rhonda tops that list.
From day one, you know, you play the Why Me card a lot, and which you have a right to.
6 years ago, Rhonda fought and beat breast cancer. That's what got her start, raising money for breast cancer fighters, survivors, as well as disease research. But it wasn't until her sister Vicky had a scare with the disease 2 years ago that Rhonda says she truly found her purpose. Find out why that near diagnosis spurred her to take greater action tomorrow only on News 3 Now this morning.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us now with a look at our forecast.
Ready for a warm day tomorrow?
Oh,
a little bit of
yes.
summer for one day
Please?
anyway. Yeah, temperature should be in the mid-80s tomorrow. Humidity levels will be low. The mosquitoes aren't fully out yet, so I guess tomorrow should be a very nice day by May standards. And much of the severe weather is really dying down over the last 48 hours. Severe weather has been reported pretty much from coast to coast, but especially from Texas and Oklahoma, right up the Ohio River Valley and into much of the northeastern portion of the country. But several tornadoes last night over parts of northeastern Iowa. So far, southern Wisconsin has been spared from the severe weather. And tonight, Doppler track shows the last of the showers dying out a couple of hours ago. Still a couple of thunderstorms in parts of north central Illinois, but things very quiet out there right now. Additional rainfall over the next week should be around an inch or less, at least according to the latest computer model forecast. That's good news. We're going to see dry weather much of the time. The exceptions will be tomorrow night into Saturday, and then perhaps somewhere in the Tuesday night and Wednesday time frame of next week. As we look at the live view from the WISC Skycam, boy, you know, it's dark out there, but at least the weather is quiet. We've had some clearing, and it's been kind of hazy out there as well. If you've noticed that haze, that's actually smoke from wildfires out in Canada. High temperature today, 77. The low temperature, 61. So a day with above normal temperatures for a change. And right now our temperature is 63 with mostly clear skies. The air is calm. The humidity is at 84%. As we check out high temperatures today across the state, they were within a couple degrees of 80 if they weren't there at all, although Superior a little cooler at 65. But notice out to the west, lots of 80s in Minnesota and a 91-degree high temperature in Fargo, North Dakota. Current temperatures are generally in the 60s and 70s, and tomorrow, like I say, will probably be a good 5 to 10 degrees warmer than we were today, even though the upper level winds are from the north. And you can see how those showers and thunderstorms basically drifted along with those upper level winds, dropped down to the south and died out this evening. Now you can see that smoky haze here from the wildfires kind of drifting in from Canada. At this point, it looks like the next weather system will take a more southerly track, and a cold front, which is north of the U.S.-Canadian border, will give us our next chance of rain tomorrow night and Saturday, but it's not going to have a lot of moisture associated with it. So that is good news. We're not expecting nearly as much rain as we've seen from some of these other weather systems. But right now, things pretty quiet around here. There's a stationary front in the northern portion of the state, and that cold front, as I mentioned, up in southern Canada. High pressure is located just out toward west. So the winds are pretty light tonight. Temperatures are generally in the 60s and 70s, so we're getting that milder spring weather in here finally. Not seeing a lot of cold air show up on the map. That's a good sign, especially when you're looking for milder afternoons. Overnight, mostly or partly cloudy, comfortable, low temperature dropping at 54. For tomorrow, a mostly sunny day. It'll be very warm, but still not too humid. High temperature topping out at 85 degrees. On future track, notice those temperatures dropping into the mid-50s tonight. High temperatures tomorrow in the middle 80s. Then tomorrow night, a chance of a shower or thunderstorm, maybe another chance on Saturday. High temperatures a little cooler on Saturday, topping out at around 70 degrees. Rainfall amounts they'll be spotty. Some areas will pick up a half inch or so in a heavier shower or thunderstorm. Some areas may not pick up nearly as much. But as we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, we have dry weather returning Sunday and lasting for the majority of next week, with the exception of that Tuesday night to Wednesday time frame. And even there, the chances of rain are iffy. Those high temperatures looking very nice in the 70s to around 80 degrees. So that's a
pretty good start to June, and it's going to just be beautiful tomorrow for the most part.
Enjoy your day off tomorrow, Frankie.
I think I'm going to like that. I'm going to like that. Thanks, Gary. Sure. Coming up in sports, time flies when you are having fun. A couple of Packers will explain why. That's next in sports.
I promised there would be no math tonight, but tonight's lesson is very simple. You win one game, you head to the state softball tournament. You lose one game, you have to watch the rest on TV. Division II sectional final, Monroe taking on McFarland. Bottom of the four, McFarland up one until Monroe's Sarah Prian going to the gap. Scores one, Lizzie Snyder not stopping. She beats the throw. Monroe takes a 3-2 lead. Top seven, McFarland down two. Rhett Rhines leaving in a hurry. Cuts into the lead, but Monroe too much for McFarland. The Cheesemakers win 4-3. They are headed to the state tournament. Division III, Poynette taking on Dodgeville. First inning, Poynette's Lucy Cuff. Ground out to short, but Casey Fountain really wants to score a run. And she will. Pumas up 1-0. Dodgeville's Lindsey Murphy trying to keep her squad in the game. This one would go to 11 innings. Poynette gets the win 3-2. The Pumas headed to Division II state. The boys state individual tennis tournament underway at Nielsen Tennis Stadium. One guy to watch, La Follette sophomore Tiger with a Y Yang near court, won his first match in straight sets, then upset Wanakee's Tyler Nelson in 3 sets. He is through to tomorrow's quarterfinals. The state tournament runs through Saturday. It seems like Packers running backs Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams were just learning a new offense as fresh faces in the Green Bay locker room. Now they're learning another offense as veterans, old guys by league standards, entering their 3rd season. Jones and Williams may have quietly been a solid duo for the Packers offensive attack, and they're getting more comfortable by the week since they've been there for so long.
I'm like, man, I remember 2 years ago coming out for OTAs and being nervous, and now it just, I feel relaxed. I'm out there. I know I'm going in with the ones, and it's just a whole different feel. The game's slowing down. When you get more comfortable, the game slows down for you.
Time's going by pretty fast, so honestly, it just makes me more and more focused, just enjoying and being grateful to be able to play this game that I love here.
Brewers and Pirates. Craig Counsell might have smiled right there. Breaking news, 2-0 Crew. Christian Yelich, the MVP, doing MVP things. RBI triple, scores Orlando Arcia, and the Brewers jump out to a 3-0 lead. It's 3-1. Mike Moustakas, second home run of the game. Next batter, Yasmani Grandal, first homer in the game. They had 4 hits apiece. Brewers win 11-5. They had 18 hits in tonight's contest. First round of the Memorial, Jordan Spieth for Eagle on 5. I wouldn't show it unless, 6 under after round number 1. Tiger Woods missed the cut at the PGA. He should probably be staying for the weekend, barring disaster. He is 2 under, but everyone chasing Ryan Moore, the leader, after shooting a 7 under 65. Steve Stricker, a 3 under 69 in round 1. Toronto hosting its first ever NBA Finals game. Pascal Siakam, have yourself a game 1. Hit 11 straight shots at one point. He has 30 and counting. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson have combined for 43 for Golden State, who have work to do. Game 2 Sunday at Scotia Bank Arena. Oh, Canada. We're back right after this.
Looking like a beautiful Friday.
Yeah, very comfortable out there right now. Temperatures are in the middle 60s, low to mid 60s, and we're looking for high temperatures tomorrow, about 85, but with low humidity, lots of sunshine, maybe a thunderstorm chance tomorrow night into Saturday. Much of next week will be dry, maybe a thunderstorm chance from Tuesday night into Wednesday, but highs between about 70 and 80.
Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 now at 10.
Do something good. We'll see you tomorrow.
1.